Hi, and welcome back. Tonight, we're going to talk about money. Not in the way people usually talk about money, not loud, not flashy, not arrogant, but in a quiet way, the way an older person talks about money after they've paid the price or after they've made mistakes, after they've seen what money can do and what it can never do. Because money is strange, it is only numbers, only paper, only a digital screen, and yet it can control a human being. It can control their choices, their relationships, their sleep, their peace. I've seen money bring comfort, and I've seen money bring destruction. I've seen people become generous, and I've seen people become cold. I've seen families come together, and I've seen families fall apart, all because of money. And I want to tell you something early, something important. Money is not just a financial topic, it is an emotional topic. Because most people don't chase money for money. They chase it for what they believe it represents: safety, respect, freedom, status, control. And the problem is, when you attach your self-worth to money, money becomes a master, not a tool. Well, when I was younger, I believed a simple lie. If I have enough money, I will finally feel safe. Maybe you believe that too. Maybe you say to yourself, when I get that raise, I'll breathe. When I pay off that debt, I'll relax. When I hit that number, I'll be happy. And yes, money can remove some pressure. Money can solve some problems. But here is what nobody tells you. Money does not automatically bring peace. Sometimes money only gives your anxiety a new shape. When you have little, you fear not having enough. When you have more, you fear losing it. That fear, it follows many people like a shadow. And if you don't learn how to deal with that fear, you can make more and more money and still feel poor inside. Let me say that again. You can be financially rich and emotionally poor. You can have money in your account and still feel like you're drowning, because money does not fix the inside. It only magnifies what is already there. If you're calm, money can support your calm. If you are insecure, money can feed your insecurity. If you are generous, money can increase your generosity. If you're selfish, money can make you worse. So tonight, I want to give you older wisdom about money. Not advice that sounds good on the internet, but advice that holds up in real life. And I want you to listen carefully, because this is not just about being rich. This is about being free. Freedom from panic, freedom from debt that steals your sleep, freedom from the need to impress, freedom from the pressure to prove yourself. Because the truth is, many people are not working to live. They are working to prove something. They want to prove they are successful. They want to prove they are smart. They want to prove they are better than the people who doubted them. And that kind of life is exhausting. It looks powerful on the outside, but it feels empty on the inside. I learned that the hard way. There was a time in my life when I chased money like a hungry man chases food. I said yes to everything: extra work, extra hours, extra responsibility. And people praised me. They said I was disciplined. They said I was ambitious. They said I was building my future, but at night, when the lights were off and the room was quiet, I felt something I couldn't explain. I felt like I was losing myself because I was not building a life. I was building a cage made of expectations, a cage made of pressure, a cage made of constant wanting. And that's what money does when you don't understand it. Money becomes a mirror, and it shows you what you truly worship. So in this episode, I want to talk about the real purpose of money and the most dangerous lies that people believe about it. I want to talk about why some people make good money but never feel safe, why some people earn a lot but still live in stress, and why the richest people are not always the happiest. If you're listening from the United States or anywhere in the world, if you're young or older, if you have money or you're struggling, this message is for you. Because at the end of life, nobody wishes they worked more. They wish they lived more. They wish they were present. They wish they were calm. They wish they had protected what mattered. So take a slow breath and let's begin with the first lesson, the lesson that changed the way I see money forever. Let's begin with the first lesson. This is the one that surprises people the most. Money doesn't remove fear. It changes the shape of fear. When you have little money, you fear not having enough. You fear emergencies. You fear getting sick. You fear the rent. You fear the bills. You fear one mistake that could ruin everything. And that fear is real. People who have never struggled financially, they often don't understand how heavy that fear can be. Because when money is tight, your mind doesn't rest. Even when you're sitting down, your brain is still working, calculating, worrying, planning. How will I pay this? What if something happens? What if I lose my job? What if I can't provide, or it's exhausting? So naturally, you start believing a simple idea. If I just make more money, I will finally feel safe. And yes, making more money can bring relief. But here is what I learned. Relief is not the same as peace. Relief is temporary. Peace is deeper. Peace is when your nervous system can finally relax, even when life is uncertain. And many people, they never reach that kind of peace because they carry fear inside them, even after their income grows. I remember the first time I started earning more, not rich, just more than before, I thought, this is it. Now I can breathe. And for a few weeks, I did breathe. I bought small things without checking my account first. I paid bills without panic. I felt proud, like I had finally become an adult. But then the fear came back. Not the same fear, a different fear, a quieter fear. I started thinking, what if I lose this? What if my income drops? What if I make one bad decision? What if I get comfortable and then fall behind again? I started watching numbers too much, checking my bank account too often, thinking about money when I was eating, thinking about money when I was supposed to be sleeping. And that's when I realized something. Money can improve your situation, but it cannot automatically heal your mind. If you have an anxious mind, money will not remove the anxiety. It will simply give the anxiety a new topic. And some people, they become wealthy, but they still live like they are one step away from disaster. They still can't relax. They still can't enjoy a meal without checking their phone. They still can't take a vacation without feeling guilty, because deep down, they don't trust life. They don't trust themselves. They believe safety is outside of them, in numbers, in assets, in control. But control is an illusion. Life will always be uncertain. You can do everything right and still face a storm. You can be careful and still get sick. You can save and still experience loss. That's why true financial peace is not only about money, it's about your relationship with uncertainty. It's about learning to say, I will be okay, even if things change. Now listen carefully. This doesn't mean money doesn't matter. It matters. But if you want real peace, you need two things. You need financial discipline and emotional discipline. Financial discipline is obvious. Spend less than you earn. Avoid debt that steals your future. Save for emergencies. Invest slowly. Be patient. But emotional discipline, that is the part people ignore. Emotional discipline is learning to delay pleasure, learning to wait, learning to breathe before you buy, learning to sit with discomfort without escaping into spending. Because here is the truth. Many people don't spend money on needs. They spend money on feelings. They buy things to feel important. They buy things to feel admired. They buy things to feel like they belong. They buy things to feel like they are winning. And the problem is, feelings are endless. If you use money to fix feelings, you will always need more money. That's why some people earn more and more and still feel empty, because they're not buying products. They're buying identity. They're buying the feeling of being enough. But you can't buy that feeling. You have to build it. So let me leave you with this. If you want money to bring you peace, don't just grow your income. Grow your inner stability. Learn to be calm. Learn to be patient. Learn to live below your ego. Learn to enjoy simple things again. Because the richest person is not the one with the most money. It's the one who can sleep at night without fear. And now let's move to the second lesson. This one is even harder, but it might save your entire financial future. Now, the second lesson, this one, may sound harsh, but it's true. Most people stay broke, not because they don't earn money, but because they don't control their ego. Ego is expensive. Ego wants to look successful. Ego wants to impress. Ego wants to be admired. Ego wants to prove something. Ego doesn't care about peace. Ego doesn't care about sleep. Ego doesn't care about the future. Ego lives for today. It whispers, buy it. You deserve it. People will respect you. Show them you made it. Don't look small. Don't look poor. Don't fall behind. And if you listen to ego long enough, you will build a life you cannot afford, not just financially, but emotionally. Because the cost of ego is not only money, it's pressure. It's the constant feeling that you must keep up. I've met people who earn good money and still live like they are drowning. They are always stressed, always behind, always chasing. And when you look closer, you see the same pattern. They are not spending money to improve their life. They are spending money to perform. They are buying the car that makes them look important. They are buying the clothes that make them look expensive. They are buying the lifestyle that makes people envy them, but envy doesn't pay bills. And admiration doesn't save you in an emergency. The world will clap for your lifestyle while you quietly suffer. The world will like your photo while your debt grows. The world will praise your success while you lose your peace. So if you want financial freedom, you must learn a skill that most people never learn. Live quietly. Be rich in private. Let your bank account grow without announcing it, because the loud life is often the fragile life. The calm life is the strong life. Let me tell you something older people understand. You don't need to look rich. You need to be safe. Safety is wealth. Safety means you can handle an emergency without panic. Safety means you can say no to disrespect. Safety means you can rest when your body needs rest. And here is another truth. Many people are broke because they confuse confidence with spending. They think buying things makes them powerful, but real power is not what you can buy. Real power is what you can refuse, the ability to walk away, the ability to say no, the ability to wait. That is strength. That is wealth. So lesson 2 is this. Stop buying identity. Stop buying status. Stop buying approval, because approval is a drug and it will keep you hungry forever. Instead, buy freedom. Freedom is built through discipline. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is protection. It protects your future self. It protects your family. It protects your peace. Now, let's move to lesson 3, Bal. The lesson about what money is truly for and why most people misunderstand it completely. Now, lesson 3. Most people misunderstand the purpose of money. They think money is for luxury, for comfort, for pleasure, for showing the world you've made it. But the real purpose of money is not pleasure. It is choice. Money gives you options. It gives you the ability to say no. No to toxic jobs. No to disrespect. No to panic decisions. No to relationships that drain you. Money buys you time. And time is life. Time is what you never get back. When you are financially desperate, you accept things you shouldn't accept. You stay in places that shrink you. You tolerate people who harm you. You trade your dignity for a survival. And survival is understandable, but it should not become your forever. That's why money matters. Not because it makes you better than others, but because it protects your dignity. It protects your ability to choose. And there is a big difference between comfort and freedom. Comfort is short-term. Freedom is long-term. Comfort is buying something nice today. Freedom is knowing you can handle tomorrow. Comfort is a new phone. Freedom is no debt. Comfort is expensive dinners. Freedom is sleeping peacefully. And here is the quiet truth. Many people chase comfort and lose freedom. They get trapped in payments. They get trapped in lifestyle. They get trapped in expectations. They think they are living well, but they are actually living under pressure. So if you want to be wise with money, ask yourself this question before every big purchase? Does this buy comfort, or does this buy freedom? If it buys comfort, be careful. If it buys freedom, it is usually worth it. Now listen, I'm not telling you to live like a monk. Enjoy life, enjoy good food, enjoy travel, enjoy gifts, enjoy beauty, but enjoy it with wisdom, enjoy it without slavery, because money should serve your life, not control it. Money is like fire. If you use it wisely, it warms your home. If you worship it, it burns your house down. And if you ignore it, you freeze in winter. So the goal is balance, earn, save, invest, give, enjoy carefully. That is wisdom. And if you're listening right now and you feel guilty for wanting money, don't. Money is not evil, but obsession is, greed is, fear is. So don't chase money for pride. Build money for peace. Build money for freedom. Build money so you can live with integrity, even when life gets hard. And now, I want to tell you a story about the season of my life when I chased money too hard and paid for it with something far more valuable. Let me tell you a story. There was a time in my life when I chased money like a hungry man chases food. I took extra work, extra shifts, extra projects. I told myself, I'm building my future, but what I was really doing was running from myself. Because when you stay busy, you don't have to feel, you don't have to face your loneliness, you don't have to face your fear, you don't have to face the quiet sadness inside you. So I kept working, and at first it looked good. People praised me. They called me disciplined. They called me ambitious. They said I was doing the right thing, and I believed them. But something happened slowly. My life became smaller. I stopped seeing friends. I stopped resting. I stopped enjoying simple moments. I ate fast. I slept late. I woke up tired. And the money, yes, the money increased. But so did the stress. And here's the dangerous part. As my income grew, my lifestyle grew too. Better clothes, better food, more spending. Not because I needed it, but because I thought I deserved it. And suddenly, I wasn't free. I was trapped. Not trapped by poverty, but trapped by maintenance. I needed to keep earning, to keep the life going. And that is the trap many people fall into. They think more money equals more freedom, but they build a life that requires more money, and then they can't stop, they can't rest, they can't slow down, because if they slow down, everything collapses. Then the body started speaking. At first, small signs, bad sleep, headaches, constant tension, then bigger signs. My chest felt tight, my mind felt dark, my heart felt tired. I remember one night I sat alone with more money than I used to have and less peace than I ever had. And I realized something. I was buying comfort while selling my life. And no amount of money is worth your health. No amount of money is worth your soul. So I made a change, not overnight, but slowly. I simplified. I stopped trying to impress. I learned to live with less so I could breathe more. I learned to say no so I could protect my energy. And slowly, peace returned. Not because I became richer, but because I became wiser. And that's what I want for you. Not wealth without peace, but peace with enough. Enough money, enough time, enough love. That is a good life. Now, Let's close this episode with the most important truths. The truths I hope you remember long after this audio ends. Now, before we end, I want to leave you with a few simple truths. Truth number 1, money is important, but peace is priceless. Truth number 2, your income is not your worth. You are not a number. You are not your salary. You are not your title. You are not your lifestyle. You are a human being, and your value is deeper than money. Truth number 3, the goal is not to be rich. The goal is to be free. Free from debt that steals your sleep. Free from fear-based decisions. Free from the need to impress. Free from the pressure to prove yourself. And truth number 4, the richest life is not the life with the most things. It's the life with the most calm. So if you're struggling financially, please don't hate yourself. Most people don't learn money wisdom in school. They learn it through pain. They learn it through mistakes. They learn it through nights of stress and mornings of regret. But pain is a teacher, not a life sentence. You can start again. You can rebuild. You can become disciplined, one small decision at a time. Pay attention to the small decisions, because your financial future is built in small moments. The moment you choose to save instead of show off, the moment you choose to wait instead of buy, the moment you choose to learn instead of pretend. And if you're doing well financially, please don't become proud. Be grateful, be humble, be generous, because money is a tool, not a throne. It should serve your life, not control it. So tonight, take a slow breath and remind yourself, I don't need to impress anyone. I don't need to prove my worth. I only need to build a peaceful life. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this episode helped you, leave a comment and tell me what lesson hit you the hardest. And if you want more quiet stories, more life lessons, and more calm wisdom, subscribe to Quiet Wisdom Stories. Good night, and take care of your heart.